Well, it is 6:55 on Tuesday, June 17th, 2025, just up the anchor and round lake at Charlevoix. And we're going to make the 7 o'clock opening for the bridge here. This seems to be a perennial scene for us anymore, as we never seem to get away without visiting Charlevoix. More on that to come.
You want to time it?
Sure.
No looky lures except for the ducks this early in the morning.
Ciao, ducks.
Because you got to do it.
Clear?
Of course we are.
Well, it is about 7:47, same day, June 17th, 2025. That's a Tuesday if I didn't say it earlier. And we've already got some sail on her. Of course, we're running dead before the wind, and I mean dead before it.
So that's the only way we run.
Yeah, because we only run
into the wind or dead before it?
dead into the wind or dead before it. Or dead calm. Those are our 3 points of sail. Anyway, we fussed a little bit. It was kind of coming off our port quarter just a little bit, so we tried to get the jib out. It was a no-go. I have still not pulled that out. I've got everything set up to do it, but I can't get excited about the prospect of getting that pulled out with 30 knots in the forecast today, so we'll run under the main alone if we have to.
Got dumped on.
And yeah, we were just hauling the jib back in again when a little cloudburst came across us. Lasted long enough to soak me, but it did not last long enough to wash all the green stuff off the boat that the flies deposited the last 2 nights. And I mean a heavy deposit.
Yes.
It's like they're using a spray paint. What do you want to call it? Paint sprayer. I mean, well, it was like overspray. I mean, the whole boat was just covered with
Fine dust.
fine little green droplets. Well, they look black until they get wet, and then they turn green. So fly specks everywhere. And yeah, and the moisture was just enough to make it really messy. So not enough to completely rinse it away.
And the deck peckers woke us up at 4 eating all of the flies.
Yeah, the deck peckers didn't eat enough of the flies. They woke us up at 3 o'clock this morning, which I thought was kind of unusual. So we didn't need to get a super early start today. We've only got 45 miles to go, which take about 9 hours at 5 knots. So not a terrifically long day. But yeah, they were going to make sure we did not get any additional sleep last night. So they were at it at 3 a.m. I couldn't believe it. So the main is drumming a little bit. Insufficient. We've got about just shy, well, about 14 knots apparent right now. But the seas are a little bigger, and it's just enough to keep. Actually, you know what?
It's the topping lift.
That's a topping lift. I can fix that. That is all.
Did you hear the thunder?
I did. It came from that way. No es bueno.
No es bueno.
So, in addition to some forecast thunderstorms, it said a slight chance, so which means 100% chance for us. But I guess as a further lesson in poor decision making, what not to do in decision making, we left Charlevoix, even though we were secure in the anchorage there. Winds are supposed to shift to the south fairly strong. 25 knots are forecasting there today. And the way we were anchored down in the south end of Round Lake, I wasn't too comfortable with the security of the hold there. It's a very deep anchorage. I think we were in roughly 30 feet of water when we anchored the other day. But we were getting blown upshore, not out towards the middle of the lake. This would have put us out in the middle of the lake. So I'd had to stay on the boat at anchor watch all day today, worried about whether the anchor was going to drag down the slope. And but going ahead today didn't look very attractive either, especially after they got 30 knots in the forecast. But one thing that is holding up in the forecast is it's supposed to blow like hell out of the south today and then start to veer to the west. Still pretty strong, but by about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, almost calm and shifting to the north, northeast, and then eventually east. And it didn't really leave us with too many options as far as places to go. We wanted to anchor somewhere tonight, and there's an anchorage on the east side of St. Helena Island. Never been there before. That would have protected us until the wind shift. Or there's an anchorage at, I believe it's Trails End Bay or something like that. And so I think that's where we're going to head for, but we're also prepared for the possibility that we may not get to drop a hook tonight if things are looking really bad, because we're going to be really exposed at that bay. We may just keep going, so, and take our lumps tonight and tomorrow, wherever we may end up. Anything to add? I gave Michi the option this morning.
Of staying or going?
Staying or going. Did I get an answer?
No, and I don't remember the question.
Okay. Well, I basically presented the options to you, and
Yeah, you presented the options, but I had just climbed out of bed and I'm still foghead. There was no way I could answer at that moment.
Well, anyway, here we are, on our way. And the other component I forgot to mention is also that after today, where we would have gotten a good push up the lake with some strong winds, it's dog shit for winds the next 2 or 3 days. We would have been stuck in this neck of the woods because there was just nowhere to go, especially not north. So anyway, thought it was worth throwing that in for posterity. That's never going to work again. I can't afford to keep buying cameras, huh?
We did have a rainbow right before we raised the sails.
Yeah, a little partial rainbow.
Yeah.
God's way of saying, sorry, I have to smash you today.
No, the promise not to smash us today.
Sure, we'll see how that works out. Yeah, starting to fill in a little bit. Dahlia Shoal out there.
Dahlia Shoal. A few seconds later.
Well, little travel update. It is about 11:16 on Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. And almost off our beam out here is the Ox Gallets Light on Isle Ox Gallets. Mispronouncing that intentionally because I have a responsibility as a tourist to demonstrate my ignorance of place names, especially when they're in some sort of weird language. So yeah, but anyway, probably Galay or something like that. Anyway, we're making our way towards Gray's Reef Passage. Had a pretty nice sail so far, actually. Only doing about 5 knots. The apparent wind, 14, 15 knots typically. I think the true wind has probably been in the 18 to 20 knot range. So, except for the occasional thunder shower that's blown over and the tense moments surrounding those, it's been pretty nice. Well, and except for my wet underwear too.
You didn't put your rain pants on.
I didn't. Well, I didn't put my. I didn't soil them. I just didn't put my rain pants on in time. So.
And the rain showers washed off most of the bug.
Yeah, we got rid of most of the green stuff from the flies. So. Anyway, that's probably about it. Anything to add, hon? That is all. travel update. Obviously we're no longer sailing, so we got a nice push all the way through Gray's Reef Passage, rounded the buoy at the top end of that, and got on a beam to broad reach, kind of varied, and had a pretty good run of it for a while. We were doing 8 knots, on again and off again, and then the wind kind of started dying a little bit, and we started going slower and slower and slower, and then all of a sudden, violently, the wind shifted, totally opposite side of the boat. Did an accidental jibe. Didn't damage anything, fortunately. I'm going to try to talk over this noise, so why don't I turn that off? There. Turn it off every time you turn on the camera. Anyway, so I did an accidental jibe, no damage, but and then it was the Charlie Foxtrot after that, so ass is an elbow. The wind kept shifting. We tried to get a preventer on the other side, and then the wind shifted again, and we didn't really do a jibe. By then we had the main hauled all the way in, and so it was back and forth, and the jib was going all over the place, so we finally furled that. We tried to sail under the main for a little while once we finally got another preventer set up, and the waves were too big for the little wind that we had. Everything was slatting around, and so we hauled it all in, and we're going to motor the last hour. I guess the upside to that is that the wind that we're supposed to get into, well, from a direction that the anchorage is not protected from, should be fairly modest, though I'm looking at the waves out here, and we're still going to be rocking pretty good until the wind comes around to the east tonight. So anyway,
can't be much worse than the fetch we had at Harbor Springs, you think?
The fetch we had at Harbor Springs,
just being rocked.
Oh yeah, that was pretty rough in the slip. Yeah. No, we've anchored at one time on Sturgeon Bay. Everything was blowing right down the bay into that anchorage, and we were doing this business. The screen went off. I can't see we were doing this business, and it wasn't uncomfortable. It was, so anyway, I'm not terribly worried about it. The only thing I'm worried about is any kind of surge without enough wind. It'll get us in the trough of the wave and rocking back and forth all night long, so, because we know that sucks.
Yes, we do.
Anyway, anything else to add, hon?
I know that last bit was frustrating, but we've had a beautiful day of sailing.
Yeah, it was just, we're so darn close to having to sail all the way to the anchorage.
From A to B.
Yep. And not only did it end, but it ended so abruptly, and with so much, well, a lot of work. I mean, we were just all over the place trying to secure booms and sails and everything else. So, and all for naught, because it didn't produce a sail after that. So that is all. Postscript. We were sitting on Round Lake last night having a cocktail, and here comes Stir Crazy, Dennis on Stir Crazy. So I got on the radio and said, "Stir Crazy, when's the next video coming out?" And we switched frequencies and chatted briefly, and he remembered who we are, that we had given him some green chili wine in Detour last year. We were sworn to secrecy. We were not to tell anybody we'd seen him on the Great Lakes, so we said nothing. But I don't think it's
matters at this point.
Disclosing anything, because he's now put up some Great Lakes sailing videos. But that is all, for sure now, until it's not. Michelle started saying something.
Sorry. Just went from being bundled up, not so much that it was cold, but it got wet. And now it's one of the hottest days we've had.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and after we were asses and elbows chasing all the rigging around, we were sweating our asses off. I was still layered.
Yeah.
I still had two jackets on, and
I only have one, but I stripped it too.
By then the sweat was pouring off of me, so. And it's a little muggy right now, and very hazy. We're probably within 10 miles of the bridge, and you can't see it. So I can just make out some of the land. But yeah, the bridge is indistinct. We had a ship go by a little while ago, and it looked like a ghost ship. It was just looming in the mist out there. Yeah. Not even mist, just a heavy haze. So, anyway. Now, is there anything else?
Love you.
Love you more. That is all. Because we can't not film anything, there's an observatory over here. Apparently free of light pollution. On this side of, is it a point or a peninsula or whatever? Hopefully that's not getting any of me. But this is Trails End Bay, and it's getting calm. Hoping that we have a good night at anchor. I think we can make it to Hessel tomorrow without much trouble. Even though we're going to have to motor the whole way. But yeah, the wind and the seas are moderating as was forecast. Imagine that. We'll see what happens. We don't end up in the trough of anything rocking.
And a rolling.
And a rolling. Yeah, the rolling part is the worst. Rocking, I don't mind. Rolling, not so good. Anyway, I thought there was something else I was gonna. Oh well, yeah. The water here is crystal clear, and we're in about 15 feet. See the bottom, like well, like it was only 15 feet away. I think you probably could have gotten a lot closer to shore. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the area. I didn't want to probe the bottom of Lake Michigan with our keel. So we're hanging out way out here, and the winds are supposed to shift to the east tonight, so we should be fairly well protected here. Coming in today, we could see nothing more than the supports for the bridge, the pillars.
That's it.
What do you call those things? The big, not caissons probably, but yeah, the supports for the suspension bridge. The two big support, and they were ghostly, like the ship we saw earlier today.
They were covered in mist.
Yeah,
haze.
We're only about 5 miles away from the bridge and still couldn't see it. So, but anyway, this is what the bay looks like here.
There's my phone.
There's your phone. Your crickets. So anyway, most of this is going to end up on Rumble anyway. So. Home videos, the video quality on Rumble for whatever is better, and we're the only ones who watch the.
It's for us.
It's for us.
It's for us.
It's for us. I edit it so that anybody else can watch. We remove the personal information, but it's mainly for us, so I can do a little armchair sailing during the winter months.
Dreaming.
Yep. Dreaming about the perfect days of sailing, which we never freaking get.
But today was darn close.
It was pretty, yeah, it wasn't bad.
I mean, we had rain, we had thunder, we had lightning, but...
you know, do you have any idea how freaking lucky we are?
We're blessed.
Oh my God.
There's your phone.
That's my phone.